GoPro video cameras are pretty cool, right? I mean, you can capture HD footage of almost anything, as these small recorders can be placed just about anywhere on your body. Thrill seekers across the world have used this ability to be able to show off some pretty extreme activities, and some of those are what we'll encounter today with the 7 scariest things people have caught on GoPro camera. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Great White Encounter. So we'll kick things off today with video that surfaced back during the summer of 2017. The video is so shocking that it actually won a GoPro award. That is an incentive-based program put on by the GoPro company itself, which awards content creators for capturing epic footage on their very own camera. With that being said, here's one of the 2017 winners, which comes from a person who was doing some extreme scuba diving off the coast of South Africa. A man named Johan Potgieter was about 30 feet underwater near the coast of Cape Town, exploring the vastness of the ocean and recording footage with his handy GoPro camera. Check it out. Whoa, did you see that? Did you see how close that thing was? Some have said that Johan may have indeed saved his own life by poking out with his spear, but there's no clear evidence that he actually connected with this terrifying shark. Either way, I think that we all would agree that this is a little too close for comfort, and I don't care how much I loved digging around in the ocean. An encounter like this would likely be my last day down there. That shark was massive. And for the curious-minded folks out there, it was a great white, and they're considered to be the world's largest predatory fish. They're known to grow to about 20 feet in length, and a single great white shark can weigh more than 5,000 pounds. So it seems safe to say that it's probably a good idea to avoid this big fella by any means necessary. Before we can advance, check out this picture that we just found here at The Supreme. In footage that appears to have been captured by a GoPro on someone's helmet, you can see what appears to be some sort of alien or unidentified humanoid creature making its way across the street. What in the heck is that all about? And more than that, what the heck is it? If you've got any idea, or heck, even if you just want to take a guess, go ahead and drop that in the comments, and we'll go ahead and get back into today's countdown. The bear chase. We'll move on. Up next, we'll go from a scary animal underwater to a scary one on land. But this time around, the animal was actually chasing after the human, creating another super scary situation. The original video was uploaded in 2014, and the reaction was intense, as 1 million people watched it within the first month of it being uploaded. Check it out. The video opens with the man fixing his helmet and getting himself situated on his bicycle. He then begins to slowly pedal down a pre-made path in this unknown wooded area, as we weren't able to ascertain exactly where this video was taken. And then, as he looks over to his right, he sees it. A massive bear just comes out of nowhere and begins to chase after the bike. The man does a double take as he can't believe what's going on, and then he starts to move a little faster, as now he's literally pedaling for his life. Over the course of the next minute, you can see the man move along as fast as he can, and as he looks behind him several times, the bear continues to give chase. He eventually gets to a large tree branch impacting the bike path, so he abandons his wheels and ducks off into the trees, desperate to escape the hungry and apparently aggravated animal that's trying to chase him down. Now, it's worth noting that there's definitely some speculation out there as to the authenticity of this video, with some claiming that the footage is edited, but several websites across the World Wide Web says differently, so it's a little hard to tell. If you've seen this before, or if you've gotten any information that we should know, please don't hesitate to chime in down below. Malfunctioning parachute. We'll move on. Let's stay away from the animals for just a minute. This next clip is truly frightening and potentially life-threatening for the guy capturing the video. In a clip that was posted back in 2014, a group of skydivers was out doing routine jumps in Sydney, Australia, when one diver's parachute did what none of us ever wants to see. It didn't do its job. The unnamed skydiver 27 at the time, had to deal with this exact situation when the ropes and cords became tangled mid-jump, nearly forcing him into a panic. You can see as the man twists and turns as he falls nearly 1,000 feet as he tries to get the chute to open. After realizing that he wouldn't be able to do it in time, he's left with no other option than to cut the primary chute and depends totally on the backup, which thankfully worked as it was supposed to. The diver was able to approach the ground in one piece, thanks in total to the reserve chute that comes in these backpacks, and he even felt good enough to go out for a couple more jumps that very same day. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that my day probably would have been done after going through something like that. But I'm clearly not as much as a thrill seeker as these guys are. When you think about it, the amount of people who enjoy scaring the living daylights out of themselves and their friends is a little crazy. But again, if you're a real-life thrill seeker, well, more power to you. Our next clip was captured down in Veracruz, Mexico, where whitewater kayaker Dane Jackson shows the world what it's like to have your teeny tiny boat go over the edge of a 60-foot waterfall. The drop is displayed from several different angles, but it's the first-person view that had everyone online talking. Check it out. You can see how the kayak itself is essentially buried beneath all of that rushing water as Dane goes over the edge. Now, of course, she was perfectly fine as a result of the drop, as this wasn't her first rodeo or whitewater ride. But you can imagine just how intense this must have been in person. The sheer height of the drop itself makes my stomach turn. Snake pit. We'll get back into the world of animals with this next footage. Now, we don't know exactly where we are in the world, but we can take a pretty good guess that it's somewhere in North America, as that's where these snakes are native. Some brave or dumb person, I haven't decided quite yet, is shooting footage in a rattlesnake pit. They've apparently got their camera propped by some sort of long-reaching device as the camera is getting suspiciously close to some of these snakes, and you'll soon see that the snakes aren't all that interested in having a visitor. On more than one occasion, a rattlesnake strikes out at the camera, with one of the strikes actually dislodging the GoPro and knocking it into the pit. Just listen to all those snakes' tails rattling. That sounds crazy. And there's no word at all on how this guy recovered his camera, because if it were me, this footage wouldn't have ever made it to light. And before we move on, I guess we should spell this out. We do not recommend you having your hands and legs this close to a pit of rattlesnakes, or any pit of snakes for that matter. Sometimes I really sit back and think about what could be wrong with some people. Extreme climbers. So we'll move things along to a couple more thrill seekers in just a second, but before we're able to do that, we've got to show a little love to one of our most recent viewers. Today's special shout out goes to Panda Gamer 323, who just watched one of our most recent episodes yesterday and left us a pretty amazing comment. They even said that they smashed the like button as well. So thanks a lot, Panda Gamer. Now, hopefully you told all your friends to do the same thing. The next video was originally captured beneath a cloak of secrecy as a pair of daredevils from Russia snuck to achieve something that most of us wouldn't even attempt. They wanted to scale the second highest building in the world, and they did it without any ropes or climbing gear at all. So, of course, you know the video went viral. Check them out. The pair snuck into the building during the midnight hour of the Chinese New Year, and just over 2 hours later, they had climbed an impressive 120 floors. And if that wasn't enough, they even climbed the crane that was on top of the building as well. The images and videos that came out of this daring action are breathtaking, as many were impressed by the guys' willingness to climb that high up onto the world's second largest building. Now, I'm not sure what it would take for me to complete a task such as this, but I'm almost willing to bet that it would take a long conversation that may or may not include someone knocking me out and dragging me up the building, because there's no way I would do this willingly. By the way, if you want to get a shout out in our daily videos, don't forget to drop a comment and show some love with the hashtag Supreme Family. You could be the lucky one tomorrow. Now, let's get back to the video. Extreme biking. It's no secret that the more extreme sport enthusiasts typically utilize the GoPro cameras more than the rest of us, which is why we chose to end today's show with footage that comes from Kelly McGarry, a guy who earned second place at the Red Bull Rampage back in 2013. As you can see, not only is that bike rider pushing the pedal, literally in one of the most unique and dangerous bike riding routes anywhere in the world, but it's what he was able to do over a 72-foot-long canyon that got the internet and his fans at the event all cheering. Whoa! It may be a bit hard to tell from the angle, but Kelly was able to do a flip in the air over this extremely large void of land. How incredible was that? And that's today's video. If you like today's video, leave a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you never have to miss out on any of our interesting videos ever again.